Friday afternoon. We're trying to make it, I was just looking at the weekly chart here for the overall market, trying to make it 6 straight weeks in positive territory after starting the day overall, if you remember, way back at 8:30 with that non-farm payrolls print that was downside. And, well, the market was downside. We'll talk about that coming up. But here is the weekly chart for the S&P, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and trying to make it 6 in a row here, but we are struggling at the top end of the range. If you zoom out a little bit, pretty good perspective as to how far we have come in a very short amount of time, a month and a half, straight to the upside for the market. There's Tesla, 0.5% trying to get going back to the upside as well. 243.5 just taken out. We're on the way back to maybe day highs. There was a note on Tesla around Thailand. We're talking to regulators in that country about purchasing some property for a possible plant in Thailand. So that was kind of interesting. Amazon, if you missed it as well, X apparently in discussions with Amazon to place X ads on Amazon Marketplace. So you'll be able to actually go buy advertising on X via Amazon, which was kind of interesting. So just taking out day highs here for Amazon, 0.36 to the upside for that one. Overall, pretty green board. Google standing out downside. We'll talk about why here coming up. I was reading a story about the Gemini presentation that was a couple days ago and how most of it was fabricated. Or essentially what happens would they fed the AI all of the answers prior to the actual presentation, and then it obviously didn't get anything wrong. It sounded very similar to what happened with Ernie, which was Baidu's, if you remember, Baidu's initial large language model. They fed it all the answers. It was completely fabricated presentation, but Google downside, it would appear anyways, on that 1.6%. Everything else, not bad overall. There is some strength in banks. Obviously, a lot of green in this area. Pharmaceutical names downside a little bit outside of Eli Lilly. 1% in positive territory. Yeah, all of the energy group positive on the day. Oil back to the upside. Some retail weakness coming through to end out the week here. But overall, there's the NASDAQ right back to the top end of the range here. Yields back to the upside, dollar back to the upside. I mean, it's not a huge move for the market, 0.35 right now for the Qs. If you missed it at 10 o'clock this morning, we got that Michigan consumer sentiment number that was in the right direction overall. But the inflation data that came out, 1 year and 5 year, downside as well. So the market seeming to like that more than the overall jobs number that we got at 8:30. All right, let's get right to a few things we were discussing. If you were with us in the pre-market this morning, make sure you join us every single day at 8:30. We were touching on Lululemon. Yep, that happened. All-time highs right now, 6% to the upside after earnings for Lulu come out. I mean, the report itself, not terrible, but they did come out and say that the holiday season forecast specifically was going to not meet expectations, which was a bit of a shock because of what happened. If you go back to Cyber Monday and Black Friday, both numbers from Lululemon, both were higher than expected and basically a record. So Lulu, guys, pretty impressive.
What? No, we might have. Oh, sorry. Someone just asked about Ohtani, and I have like some idiot messaging me telling me we have him. So I don't know if the Jays have Ohtani. It would be really cool if this was true. And if my buddy just messaged me and it's not true, you know who you are. You're not watching, but I'll send this to you. That's not cool, man. Everyone's been talking about this all day. Like, the only thing hotter than Ohtani going to the Blue Jays, I guess if you're a Blue Jays fan, would be Lululemon to the upside today.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. When you were talking about when you talk about Gemini getting fed the answers and all that kind of stuff, all I could think about was me in grade 9 French. You know, you got to do what you got to do every now and then, especially when it comes to French. I really suck at languages.
I mean, the Jays and the Dodgers are even. No.
Yeah, the Jays don't have Ohtani. They don't.
No, because I went right to Instagram and like someone would have posted something.
Yeah, I mean, come on. But Lululemon.
I have positions, by the way.
I didn't think there was. I think you got to take it full. They turn it on now at 2:02, so it doesn't really go right away.
Yeah, okay.
But Lululemon, it's easy enough to say that, I like the stock. There was a bit of, the guide wasn't necessarily fantastic, but all of the retailers have been, not all of them, but a lot of them have done the same thing this earnings season. And I think a couple of times this year during earnings. where you get one thing bad, it gaps to the downside, and then it's like rocket ship up. Lulu did that today. Now, I said if I was making a trade, my support level would have been 440. So if I was, like, there was never any chance. Like, I don't think it's not rocket science to say 440, good consolidation, support above it in the aftermarket. So if it was going to go dip and rip on this stock, I don't think your margin of error is $1 or $2 on Lululemon. So it never presented with a long that I like. And I suppose there was a breakout trade at 470s. That's the only thing. When I look back at, was there an opportunity missed on Lululemon? Dip buy? Nope, it wasn't there. That's fine. Like, if you were looking dip buy, it had to be right at 450. Maybe you like that trade. I think your chance to get in was after it broke out at 70 right here. So if you were kind of naked on this, you had no idea what to do. It broke 470, topped out at 74, and then double bottomed on a 3-minute chart at 470. So that actually gave you a chance to work a trade somewhere in there that would have made sense. Now it's probably going to test 500 next week or this afternoon, one of the two. Obvious to say. I don't think I'm going to trade it this afternoon. To say it's the one that got away wouldn't be right, because I didn't have a trade plan. If you have a trade plan and you miss a trade, that's one thing. If you have a trade plan and it never sets up for you, that's a totally other thing. Great company. I think they'll do fantastic, obviously, but it's a great trade if you manage to catch something here today on Lululemon. So shout out to anybody that had this one anywhere in the long. It would have been difficult to lose on a long trade today.
Yeah.
Well, on this anyway.
Yeah, no, that's probably pretty accurate. Yeah, welcome. Like, I'm going to be distracted with this Otani thing pretty much as well all afternoon. But we are, yeah, Lululemon. Look, man, I showed that graphic earlier about their revenues and just how they continue to spike over and over and over again, and how great the stock is. By the way, I also tweeted this out earlier. So this is like all of us right here in Toronto right now. If you know this meme or whatever, Pablo Escobar just waiting around.
I keep seeing more things saying it's done.
No. Shai Davidi tweeted out it's not.
Okay, MLB trade rumors needs to get that down then.
Yeah,
That's not cool.
Here it is right here. This is Lululemon right now. They don't miss. That's all. It's like, sure, you're going to get some valuation questions. It's a 58 PE. It's been higher than that in the past, but again, it's just straight fire. And I mean, you got to like the stock. You got to like the name. And this is my Alibaba. We just went short, took profit, and then got stopped out there. But Lululemon, again, good name. Look at this, man. Ozan, like I talked about this yesterday on the show, and I said very, very specifically, I feel like Lululemon was sandbagging that quarter. Okay, and what I meant by sandbagging is I feel like they came out with the wrong print there. I don't think they're gonna miss. I don't think they guided a little bit lower. So what does that mean? They guided too high in the first place, So let's just wait to see what happens with Lululemon. Obviously, as people sort of restructure on what their expectations are here for this company, that quarter just seems to have helped their case, not hindered it. Up 6% now. And again, this is why it's very, very difficult to trade earnings. Like boom to the downside, then boom. Like takes everything out and is now at the day's high and just took out the day's high. So congratulations, everybody long Lululemon, you win.
All right, let's talk Tesla here. Back to the upside today as well. It did start the day in negative territory, 0.5% right now. Positive, we're just coming back towards those highs. If you missed it this morning, it was Bernstein, comes out with a note with their top idea for 2024 to short this stock. We've seen how, as Sharif made the point, we've seen how that has played out in the past for anyone who has dared to try. As I mentioned when we came back on at 2 o'clock, though, I was reading a story at lunchtime. Apparently, they're talking with Thailand about purchasing some land for a plant, potentially in Thailand, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, fantastic. A lot of presence in Asia. They're looking to expand India, Thailand. We already know that they have a presence in China, obviously, with the Shanghai factory. Speaking of China, we got the November EV sales for Tesla, and here's what they did, guys. 82,432 vehicles were sold were sold from the Chinese Shanghai facility. That's a 5.3% increase year over year. On the other side of that coin, we saw the headwinds that they have in Scandinavia with some of the mechanics there for one of their battery plants. Looks as if they want a collective agreement, and looks like the postmen are standing in solidarity with the mechanics, refusing to deliver some of the Tesla license plates to some of the owners. So we'll have to see if that expands and gets any worse.
Yeah, overall, pretty good number though for Tesla. I mean, it did test lower, I guess, out of the gate this morning at the open, but straight upside for the most part.
Yeah, it's not rocket ship upside on Tesla today, but I'll tell you what I'm almost waiting for. Geez, I had this conversation. There's a lot of things that were getting discussed in the kitchen throughout lunchtime, but then I was talking to Max after the fact, and we're both looking at this channel to the downside. Now I can clean this up a little bit because the top of the channel now is actually underneath that 250 level, and it just keeps on creeping lower and lower. Now I still think when this clears 250, it's going to be a wild move to the upside. But what has happened today is, okay, you got to 245. I was locked in 247 as the level I wanted to go off of today, and I thought 238 was going to be it. Like trade 238, or at least in front of it, trade 247. This made a right turn at 241. I guess if you're going that way, it's kind of like a left turn to go back up. But on the 15-minute, there has not been a red candle on this move. It's not a fast move like the rest of the market, like we're slowly creeping up, but it is a strong move to the upside. Now, until it breaks the high at 45 change, I respect that. Like, I'll respect 45 as a level, given how slow this move has been to the upside, how low volume this move in general has been to the upside, and I'm talking about the broad market here. But Tesla is poised. Everyone's been pretty bearish on the stock. Is all year, the back half of the year, Tesla has been in a downward channel. It's at that high. It is not running. It has refused to run away from the top of this channel this time. There has not been a deep pullback. We're still above the 200 period moving average. So I'm still looking for that breakout. I think when you get the chance at this break at 250, it's setting up to be a really, really good one. But until then, 45 because of this morning, 47 looks like a short as well on Tesla. I did have XPeng, and I will not trade it this afternoon. I don't like to speak in certainties, but XPeng on a Friday afternoon, no, not going to happen. They were in the watch list, yada yada, all that good stuff. They broke $15. I think this stock, if it cannot hold, if it closes at or under 15, I think there's room for it to go lower. That doesn't mean I think it can happen today. There was one short opportunity off the open. I also noted this, and I know Sharif doesn't like the fact that, why when I type LI, does the stock Libby come up? I want Li Auto. Scroll down, there you go. It's like the fourth thing on the list. Li Auto also with a bit of a flat bottom breakdown in the last couple of days. So some of these Chinese EV names breaking down. 35 is gone for Li Auto. I just think XPeng a little cleaner to trade, but they both could be headed for the 200 period moving average, where it's been support before in these stocks. So I think you look at those next week, and maybe it's worth picking up or finding some long trades on those EV names. The other one that I traded was one of the failed breakouts, because we're talking about Tesla. There were two, I think we'll probably talk about both of them. Yeah, so two failed breakouts for me, and then a third that ended up working and making the day. Rivian was the second one, and I liked Rivian second best. I liked Roblox the most for the break, but the breakout didn't work. Broke out the top. You also had yesterday's highs as well. I bought both of those levels and then stopped out underneath when it went red. And then that's it. Like, I took my breakout levels, those were my entry prices, it went red and I got out. The only thing I could have done differently is when it retested the exit, that actually ended up being a short. But when a breakout doesn't work, get out of Dodge, move on to the next trade. If it had come back again, and if it comes back this afternoon, I might take a breakout again above these levels, above 1925, above 1942. Those are the two good levels I like. I'm not averse to sitting it out and waiting for it to get back in and taking those longs. Tesla, I probably don't trade. I think I'm looking at Rivian. Obviously, I'm in Nikola, but Nikola is the same thing as yesterday. Flat bottom break, free money.
Yeah, look, Tesla, we wrote down 244 on the stick. We haven't traded it. I really think that this Rivian up here around $20 is going to be a fade. That 2050, $20, it's such a nice move recently, and I think it comes back in a little bit. Let's wait to see if that's true. It's got to complete this whole formation back up to the upside, but $20.25, That's a great level. So if we can get anywhere near 20 bucks on Rivian, which we did there, but again, like, off the open, it's so tough to trade. We're 30 cents in the money on Google right now. We should be in AMD. We'll talk about that when we get to it. But yeah, anyways, Rivian short is really where I'm looking in the EV space right now.
Just reading this note on that blue stock, or I mean, it's in that group though, but the FDA approving the first gene editing cell therapy for sickle cell disease. So pretty interesting stuff today in that field. Let's go to the chip group. We were discussing NVIDIA specifically. There's a couple of minor notes this morning on NVIDIA, but I mean, AMD was the big winner yesterday. Both of these back to the upside today, another 2% here for NVIDIA. AMD, the bigger mover yesterday, adding to that and then some. Yeah, 45 billion potentially coming from AMD as far as market cap is concerned is just hard to wrap your head around.
Yeah, it's the first we've heard of this big expansion in Asia, at least for me, obviously, for their data center AI. We'll have to see how it does. It's a big order. 45 billion is not small. You know, they're going to have to look for somewhere else to sell those GPUs because we know about 20% of NVIDIA's revenue was coming from China. Sure, they have a few GPUs that are, you know, circumventing these embargo restrictions that have been in place from the Biden administration, but 20%, not a small amount to replace, Brendan.
Yeah, no kidding. Looking like I might want to test highs here right now. Might need a little bit more participation at the bottom here. Volume a little bit light, but curling back up here, guys, for NVIDIA.
Curling back up. I like that one. Just going to fix my NVIDIA chart here for a second, because what's interesting is I'd almost say it's barcoding. Now, I know that it's going to look, this is more extreme than what it really is because of that wick that I just tried to get up to 500. If you got a 500 print on NVIDIA today, then you don't exist, and you know, you're a unicorn or whatever that would be. This is actually a dollar range at the top, but it has been hanging that dollar range, 75 to 76, the entirety of the afternoon. Since it tested VWAP, it's now just a big time hold at that level. The high is actually 477. Now, there was a chance for the short that I was looking at this morning. I didn't get it. And obviously, once that first time, if a stock is strong and goes into your level to short, if it gets there again, I've got to ask myself, does it look weak at that level if you missed the first reversion play? And if the answer is no, then don't take it. If the answer is it's making a lower high and it's showing you signs of weakness, yeah, if I see like a red candle, lower high, and then you can get a consolidation lower and get a rollover, that's a way to play it the second time. But I just sat it out, and I'm glad I did. And oddly enough, the thing I did was go long into ARM. That's the play. That was the play for me, and it did start with a short. You know, I like 65 short on ARM as a play. It's been good for a week and a half. Up every single time it's gotten to 65, it was a good short. This time it was a breakout long to 66. It actually dipped all the way down, broke 65 pretty decently, and then ramped right back to the upside. ARM is absolutely on a tear, and the buying that has been coming into this, like, first of all, like, look at the support it had technically on this channel that it just accumulated. Low 60s, there's the bid, it breaks out the top. If this does the same thing, 65 to 70, then you gotta just go for the longs at 65. And if it gets to 70, maybe look for shorts at 70 on ARM, because like, you're not gonna, like, for some reason, this is not difficult technically on the levels. You've just got to wait for them to show themselves. And then once they do, like the 56 short into the breakout at 56, now the 61 long into the 65 level, 70 psychological. There's really there's no science to that. It's not really a level on the chart because this is uncharted territory for ARM, which is par for the course when you're a recent IPO.
Look, the biggest trade of the day is going to be this AMD one that we took earlier on, and it's just like the short was absolutely incredible. I mean, we had held this. The problem is I started averaging in. We still had a position all the way down here. We just didn't cover it, which is stupid. But we averaged it. We only had 5%, so it's like it didn't really matter anything to me. But anyways, I'm flipping over to the long now. So this is what happened to me yesterday. Remember, we started to get caught up in these shorts, and it's like they just kept on making moves to the upside here. So we got out. It wicked as high as didn't even wick as high. It just hung out here at around 50s. I flipped over to the long. I feel like we're above VWAP. We're above the 50 50-period moving average right now. That's why we went long. And we have the 200 down here. If we do fall into 50s back in, I think that'll be an area where we're going to have to make a decision. But I'm going to load up again if we come back a little bit south of 129. But I am flipping it over into the long now as the market just continues to break higher here. But we're running up against the high of the day. We're up today. The market feels pretty good heading into the weekend again. I was bearish to start the day. And I'm not going to lose everything on AMD, obviously, like I was just saying there. But, we'll try long. We'll try to flip over to the long and see if it goes. The bias on the short really paid off early, man. So, we're kind of already in cloud nine. So I hope everyone continues. Thank you so much, Sharif, I think, for that one. But yeah, look, it's going to be a good one. Let's just wait to see what happens here. I'm short Google, long AMD. The battle of AI names. Let's see who wins.
It's been an AI kind of a week. This
yeah.
week has. Just finding this note on XPeng we're going to discuss next. I just realized this thing's down 5%. We're going to make Sharif a little upset here because all of them are following suit today. I mean, it's not as bad, but NIO still, yeah, I guess as well. 1.3% for all of them. XPeng, the one with the news catalyst today, comes out cutting prices. That's never good. We were trying to hold this low in the pre-market. That gave up pretty quickly, 1550 to the downside here. We're essentially at day lows, but volume very, very low, it's worth noting.
Yeah, the price wars on these EVs continues, Brendo. They're cutting the price on their P7i, but it's not for a prolonged period of time. It's supposed to be promotional from December 8th to 17th to try to spur some demand. Obviously, if there was demand for that model, they wouldn't be cutting price. So this is kind of one of those catalysts where you have to kind of raise an eyebrow wondering why, but we'll have to see how they do. Obviously, down big on the day. We got the China EV numbers from Tesla, which were good, 5.5% year over year, but that doesn't translate to the others.
No, wasn't much to do if you weren't looking for the fade today. Unfortunately, not much of an uptick here, guys, for XPeng today.
Yeah, you had to be looking for the fade. The thing about it is the market was strong this morning. When you saw the market bouncing to the upside, it was pretty easy to see if something wasn't going up, there was an issue with it. And as you said, on the daily chart, you had 1550. It's a nice psychological level because it's a round number, and it was a clear lower level as well at 1510 on the daily if we come to the charts. At this level at 1510, I just put the lines in there now. I didn't have them this morning, and it's a lot easier to figure out when you do. So my plan was it's a flat bottom breakdown that's already happened. If it fails the high of the day, pop and fade. So it breaks the top. Well, sorry, it attempts to break the top here at 15.6. It fails it. It gets short as it's coming back into that 1550 level, takes them out on the break of the pre-market low, and then the next out is that 1510 level. And it works. It kind of worked to both. It worked even further past 15. Maybe that was a long on a 15 area level. I was never really looking for a long, and that broke it by only 8 cents or so, and now it's climbing higher. It's a Chinese ADR. These don't trade that much in the afternoon, but it's actually moving a bit to the upside. I wouldn't rule out the notion that there could be a secondary fade if this market were to pull back, but it's strong for now this afternoon. Just to show you on Nikola, when I said Nikola was just the pop and drop like yesterday, I mean more or less the same thing. Like this was Nikola yesterday at 80 cents. It barcoded not for very long. It actually barcoded on it for 45 minutes or so and then dropped. And it dropped the 80 level. You get 79.9 or whatever price. You get 79.5, all those prices. And then it goes all the way to 75. 75 bottom today. At the open does the same thing. I'll show you the 3-minute chart. It just sat there. When it broke, short, don't get a full fill. I got partially filled. I had to add to it at 74.6 or something. And then it flushed. It made a bottom at 68. I have 4% left, and I just left my trailing stop in at 72.5. I did get this wick, but I was sitting. So it'll seem like, oh my goodness, how do you get a bottom wick at 68? Because I was at 73, I was on the bid in front of 73. I was on the bid in front of 71 even. I was on the bid in front of 70 even. I was on the bid in front of 69 even. If it held an even penny, it was going to look like I made the bottom wick anyways. Regardless, as long as it bounced off an even level, so that's the case. I still have 4%. But this is a setup on a weak stock that I'm taking all the time. Because every now and then it'll fisker you where it does this and breaks up and you lose a cent. Maybe 2 cents depending on the price of the stock. But when it goes, it's just going to be worth it. It's 2 days in a row Nicola's giving you 5 cents, and on the daily chart, it seems like it's headed to 50 cents. I mean, I don't know if they're going bankrupt or anything. You know, you kind of hope sometimes that you have like if this stock reverse splits, maybe you get a shot at one of those reverse split fades. So you'd rather, when trading, that a stock sticks around. But I mean, heck, like this was just at 50 cents in June, ran all the way up to 360, and it's going to be back at 50 cents maybe by the end of the year. So obviously something's wrong here with Nikola.
Yeah, something's definitely a little off with that one. Okay, new position alert right now. It's going to be a firm. So let's go like this. We have a new position, a firm. Let's see if it comes back into the downside. This is a name that's been one of my better stocks this month. Obviously, we've had a great month, but it's just coming back up into where we've already been here today. Plus, so we'll short it. I mean, look at that pretty epic rise over the last little while. Obviously, the NASDAQ has as well. And if you're just going to look at this, we've already been here 2 days ago on a firm. So I'm going to go short right now on AFRM and see where we go from here. All right. We could have got out of Google. We didn't. AMD, we got a little bit more. But you guys know really where we're trying to get this in right here off VWAP. Let's just see if it breaks below right here. That's 80s. Like it's not, I'm going to give it a little more love than that, but not much. So we'll try long now in AMD. More aggressive than the market. Like I'm doing that. What's up to Super SPAC man, the classic Katina change as he calls it. Yeah, we were short this name and only going short. Now we're going to go long. Maybe we'll lose again. I used to not love trading. Well, I used to love trading in the open. What we've done is tried to calm down and trade once the open started. But again, you know, it's the big trading here that happened early. We'll check out. I mean, NEO down there at $10, or sorry, down at $7. 8 was a great fade. This is another huge move that we had on Monday. Again, it was NEO. So let's just wait to see what happens. I believe this is going to go back into 7 at some point here as well. So NIO, definitely close enough to 7 to get long when we get down there. So I like that. A firm could bounce at $40. Like I'm getting out. I see some people talking like I'm going to get out if it breaks 42. That's it. Pretty simple trade for me and average in much closer to that. So we'll figure out what's going on right now. But yeah, I don't look comp SRX1. I don't want anyone to trade against me either. You know, but again, like just like Google, remember when we were really pro the long on Google? You know, like we crushed this trade. This is $1.50. But you know, now we've been going short on Google. So again, it have the ability to change up your game because that's where the money is made. So, all right, back over to the desk. It's 2:30.
All right, Roblox gets back below this recent high on the daily chart here, but still a really nice day for Roblox, holding on to most of this 5% gain. Shout out to our friends also at Benzinga. If you haven't done so, go get 75% off Benzinga Pro. Right now, down below, you'll find the promo code. Shout out to our friends at Benzinga. I mean, Benzinga Pro is a great platform. You get all kinds of great features, including this drop-down feature for news stories. You just click on the headline. It shows you a preview, and then you can click it. So it pops out if you want to look at it, popped out as well. So a couple things to know as far as Roblox is concerned. This data actually came out after the open this morning. But bookings overall in the month of November up 30%. Daily active users up 20%, so not a bad look for the month of November for Roblox. We also talked about the maker of Fortnite this morning, announcing that they were going to put some R&D and work into development on the Roblox platform. And Sharif's going to talk about Nicki Minaj. Or not?
I am. I'm going to shout out Benzinga first because they reported this story here. They're reporting that Nicki Minaj is set to release her first album since 2018 called Pink Friday 2, and it's going to be in collaboration with, you guessed it, Roblox, hence why she made a verified account this morning, Brendo. So be on the lookout for that. It's nice to have some celebrity endorsements there.
Timing is everything, as they say. She may or may not have had an album this morning come out as well, but you know, headlines are headlines, guys.
I think it's amazing. You know, you see like Sharif giving mad love to everybody. But you know he has a special thing for Nicki Minaj, and it's kind of exuberant. The exuberance I see is fantastic, and I think, I feel like I got a little bit too much of that this morning because I thought this was fantastic news. I'm not blaming anything, but I wasn't the only person. I was talking to Max as well, and look, you had double-barrel good news for Roblox today. You got Sharif clamoring about how great it is. I talked about my nephew. My nephew loves Roblox. Sean's kids love Roblox. I think the product is great. I think the stock has done really well. But I'll tell you, it was not like I loved the breakout setup more than any of the other breakouts today. Like Affirm was a good breakout, but I actually liked Roblox more. There was a setup for Rivian as well. Rivian didn't work, but I like Roblox more. So it's the same. It was exactly the same execution as the Rivian break, where you have the previous high and you had the 42 break. Both again bought at both of those key prices and stopped out at under that same high. So I was in for the break. I was adding when I liked it, and then I was getting my stop out, and then that's it. I didn't trade it again. Now the thing to keep in mind here is we've had a lot of days where you get these stocks that go, you get a break and it just runs for you and it's easy, yada, yada, yada. You've had that days with Boeing. There's been days with that. Yesterday, AMD was really easy to sort of grab if you had that to the long side. We've had days where like Pinduoduo will just go and keep running. But when it doesn't work, you have to find a way. If you have my top two ideas don't work and they're both going to be losses and they're going to be the ones I like the best, like how do you get back from that? The only answer is just make the next trade. I know it's corny and all that nonsense, but trust me, it'll be frustrating, but you just make the next trade. The next trade for me was the third trade on Affirm. And I'm bringing, the reason it matters, because if you think about it, this morning, my top two breakout ideas didn't work. You're going to start out down when that happens. Then the third breakout idea, like the Affirm at 40, fail break. Third time it was good. So you nut up and you just take the same breakout above 40. It ends up working out. I actually am you know what, here's the thing. I'm not in the short on Affirm because I think I want to see it fail break 42, and it's not quite there yet. Generally speaking, if it's this bullish, I want to see it fail a level first. But Affirm is at resistance. Here's a weekly chart on Affirm, by the way, just to zoom it out a little bit further. If you're wondering why would you consider, there we go. Let's zoom in there. Why would you consider fading this level? It is, at these prices, it is trying to make a monster weekly high close, right? So this is a weekly chart. I can see profit taking on Affirm. It's Friday, it's options, all that stuff. I'm waiting for 42 to try a trade because I'd rather risk, I want to risk tight to this level. If it breaks out, the next big level is actually at $50 on Affirm. So it's been a great run for the stock, no question about it. But just remember, the only way to get out of being down is to make a good trade or a series of good trades. And if that means going to a different stock, it means going to a different stock. If I continue to try to make Rivian work or Roblox work, I would have just gotten screwed today. But shout out to anybody that's been long Affirm this entire run. Like I said, I was talking to Max. I was like, oh man, Max, you should have seen the breakout on Affirm today. He goes, I'm not making this up. He goes, 25 break? I'm like, Max, 25 break? Like it broke it at $42. Yeah. Because he was talking about down here, maybe he said 27. This stock has been an absolute rocket ship. I think there's going to be at some point a $5 move within one day to the downside on Affirm. I don't know necessarily that it's today, but when I see a chart like this on a stock like this, when I feel it's coming, there are shots to be taken on it. Maybe it is at $50. If it's $50, I think it's more than $5 if it pulls back. If it's 42, I think it can pull back to 40 today. I just want to see it get to 42. Can't say enough about the move in the stock. Regardless of what you think about the company, the chart's speaking for itself right now.
All right, we'll just, I've been talking to Christopher and everything in the chat here. Honestly, guys, we thought, it's too bad that we switched up on AMD. We just went long. We just lost. I gave back 15% of what we made on AMD today. It sucks to lose, but what are you going to do? And then someone said, Sean doesn't look so confident now. No, I'm not. This is not, I don't I don't think there's anything going to happen here, honestly. Like, this is a nice move up. I feel like I want to be short. I thought AMD had a chance there. I don't know. It still does, but we've already made, honestly, guys. Like, we've already. I'm doing more work looking up Ohtani stuff than I am here on.
There's a super chat. I got to ask a question about this super chat though.
I already asked him. I don't know what stock he's talking about.
Okay, because we don't know what stock you're talking about. Because we'll be talking about a million things at once, and that's a shout out to Hayden Griffith. Thank you for the super chat. We'll look at any stock. If you ask us to look at a level 2, do we see size on it? Yeah, I just don't know what you mean. A huge size level 2, 1365. Is it an iceberg? I don't know what stock's at 1365. Like we were just talking about Xpeng and Roblox. AMD and Affirm, like none of those stocks are at that price, so I'm not.
It's IonQ.
Okay,
yeah, so I have it up now.
Bruce.
There's actually no size whatsoever now, but I think you were talking about
iceberg. You said
iceberg. Yeah, so okay. So what an iceberg just means is that it tries to break it, but it can't break it, right? So you're looking for a potential move to the downside there if and when it breaks, right? And so an iceberg just means like you see how you have like. For example, probably not on NYB. Okay, let's just say it's on ARCA. So right now, ARCA's showing 800 shares. Well, there it is, 500. What happens is you're going to see a P come off here, which would be ARCA. And if that's like for 800 shares and it doesn't disappear, then you know that, okay, there's more shares there than that 800. So that's an iceberg. Is it there or not? I don't know, but you're right at the day's high. I feel like this could break out. Why not? Good name there. The chart looks great. Really strong into a strong market. Yeah, I mean, good. If you think there's an iceberg at 65, go long now and give it the trade to 60. Like give it a little bit of room. Sometimes those icebergs can let the stock go and then it'll bounce back, right? And so give it some room. I think if you found that, Hayden, then I'd go. But I mean, unless we sit here and watch it, it's going to be a tough one. But I mean, I'm down for sitting here and just watching it. I just,
You know what that's 31%?
Downside. It's 31% short this one?
31% short float.
What is this stock? I don't even know what this
You know what? I looked at. I don't know what they do.
EMY Technology.
Yeah, I can tell you like usually 7 mil volume. It's going to do almost normal volume. But these guys report tonight. So according
Friday?
Yeah, well, yeah. Like I did a double take myself just now because I'm not used to things reporting on a Friday afternoon, and I'm still double taking. But according to Trade Ideas, this reports tonight, IonQ. So who the heck reports on a Friday afternoon? You got something to hide? I don't know. Why would you? Like it's just a weird time to report. But that could give it a little extra juice, maybe going with 31% short, and you're reporting going into a weekend.
I'm surprised about that. Everyone wants to talk a little bit about Palantir.
That's wild.
Yeah, Palantir is definitely the missed opportunity for me today. But that's why we give the sticky note. I mean, we have it written down here. You can probably see the top left. It's saying You can go find it at TraderTV Sean on Twitter. It says Palantir long 17. I mean, again, we were too busy, honestly. AMD was so good off the open that I don't feel bad about missing this, but that's the trade. We should have had it. It's just one of those things that we don't have. I really like Palantir, man. We've been talking about this over and over again. I'm waiting for it to drop a little bit further, but it's at the 50 period. Probably worth buying some. I'm still on Palantir. I really like the name, and I think it's been trading great. A little bit of bouncing level here off of 17. This is why, I mean,
did they already?
Sticky note yesterday had Palantir long 17. I think it had it long 17 the day before. It had it long again today. Every single day it banked. Bank. It's like Tim Duncan, the bank is open. You just got to take the trade. And if you don't have it, then it doesn't matter. But if you do have it right now, I would say you're getting close. Like you're close to 18 bucks. You have some consolidation rate here. For me, Palantir might be worth getting something out. Some nice consolidation. This goes back to Thursday, Friday, Wednesday. So Wednesday's levels where we dropped through 18 and couldn't get above where we are right now, 1790. Let's see if that makes some sense there. I'm not shorting, I'm not in anything, but if I was in it, and especially if I had that big win today, heading into a Friday, I think it's probably worth taking something out here on Palantir if you're long. But yeah, guys, I mean, look, it's been a great day. Part of trading is waiting for opportunity. So we're going to do that. We'll wait to see if there's anything setting up, and we're going to have a guest interview very soon, so we'll have that. And I'm going to look for some more opportunities.
Yeah, just some housekeeping. Nicola hit my trail out, so I'm out of that one. That's actually looking decently strong, but the volume isn't all that impressive. So there's this big spike that was kind of not real. You can tell because the volume didn't really do much. It's trying to break through VWAP. If I see volume pick up, maybe it's a long back into 3075, but it's not there yet. We're at a triple top on Google as well, so I'm giving it just past that 10. And then we'll look for some. I want to get into maybe an Intel long. Apple is the other one. We're going to go to the interview, but I think I traded Apple once off 195 at lunchtime, and I think this is just a missed opportunity to try to get some in at a higher low. Apple is very steadily climbing up, and it's worth joining this party, especially if we clear the highs in the NASDAQ. Apple looks like it's a good one. But as Sean mentioned, let's go on to the desk right now for our guest of the afternoon.
She's great. All right. I am excited to have Scott Taylor here, CEO and co-founder of Lithos, a brand new uplisting to CBOE Canada as of today. Lithos is trying to set the global standard in economically efficient and sustainable lithium production. We're going to learn a little bit about that. Congratulations, first of all. It's an exciting day. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me here. It's a real pleasure.
Our pleasure. Let's start off with maybe a little bit of an explanation here, because I think you and I were just talking a little bit off camera before we came on here, and I think it's a market, obviously, that has a ton of upside with the electric vehicle demand that has just begun from a global standpoint.
It's compounding every year after year, and so the supply-demand imbalance for the next 15 years is nuts.
And all of that lithium is going to have to come from somewhere, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a few challenges when it comes to actually extracting lithium and processing it. Tell us a little bit about the company, first of all, and tell us a little bit about the technology that you and your company are going to bring to the market to help that along.
Yeah, sure thing. So there's there's three different types of sources where you can get lithium from. One is typically we have in Canada, the spodumene pegmatites.
Right.
We have nothing to do with that. There's another class that's not really yet in production yet, clays down in more Oregon and Nevada. We have nothing to do with that. So what we're looking at is where the majority of the production in the Western Hemisphere comes up right now, which is predominantly from Chile and Argentina. Mm-hmm. And they come from what is called continental brines. And these are shallow, super salty, 10, 20 times saltier reservoirs that have substantial enrichment of lithium, together with a cocktail of other impurities.
Right.
And the conventional approach to producing those is one of the most unsustainable and embarrassing processes to humanity. I think there's a little picture maybe you could show the audience in the background.
We can explain this a little bit. For anyone who hasn't heard of the process that is involved in extracting
they use these things called evaporation ponds. So basically they pump this brine fluid to the surface.
Ramin, we can show that.
Into lined pits, and then start injecting huge volumes, there you go, in huge volumes of hydrochloric acid. And so as we go from the north to the south, or from the background to the foreground, you can see we go from lighter colors to the yellowy colors. And what's happening there is that the lithium is being concentrated and the waste salts are being removed. But it's a hugely inefficient process. So going from the north to the south, we're losing anywhere from 50 to 60% of the in situ resource.
Right.
We're consuming anywhere around 2.2 to 2.5 million liters for every ton of lithium that's produced. Mm-hmm. It takes anywhere from 9 months to a year and a half to go from the north to the south of that complex.
Wow.
So it's an unsustainable process. It is hungry for water, hungry for chemicals, horribly toxic for the environment. That footprint there, that picture that you just saw, is the size of Metro Toronto. It's 90 square kilometers.
That's amazing.
And the world needs not one of those mines to keep up with demand between now and 2035, but 75 of those.
That's amazing.
Can you imagine where are those going to come from?
Yeah.
Who's going to have that in their backyard?
Yeah.
So that particular example is actually from the Atacama Desert in Chile.
Okay.
And the main producer there is under pressure. If they don't get off of those ponds by 2030, they're going to lose their production quota.
Right.
I mean, that's a company that's producing 158,000 tons of lithium carbonate a year and trying to scale up to 250,000 tons. They account for majority of the production in the Western Hemisphere. So can you imagine an oil company that's like, the main producer in the Western Hemisphere, and all of a sudden, hey, we're going to remove your production license if you don't, start to get your act together with the environmental. So the whole premise behind Lithos is that we're going to introduce a technology that acts like a fancy Brita filter. It originally comes from the oil and gas business, and basically it was introduced 6 years ago, and it was introduced to consume the produced water after you had fracked a well. So what's going to be in there is sand, chemicals, and very dirty water, and this is able to separate out all those impurities and recycle 98% of those at scale. And when I mean at scale, this is a water management problem. You have to be able to pump and clean on a continuous basis huge quantities of fluid every day. So if you look at that installation from the Atacama Desert, just to get a starting point, you have to be able to handle like 1,200 liters per second.
Right.
That's like 300,000 barrels of fluid per day. I don't know if you've ever been out on an oil field complex.
That's a lot. Yeah.
A refinery that can handle 300,000 barrels of input feedstock per day it's a pretty big problem.
Right. Just to go back a little bit, you were saying 9 months from the back of that facility to the front.
9 months to a year and a half. So depending upon how much precipitation there is, how intense the sun is, it will take anywhere from 9 months to a year and a half to go from the north to the south.
And where does the company's technology then fit into
that?
We
fit in at the very upstream part of that process. So we're going to drink the fluid that comes directly out of the reservoir, and we're going to process it, and it basically eliminate that entire pond complex.
Amazing.
And do that in a matter of like a week or two, rather than a year to a year and a half. Recover well in excess of 90% of the in situ resource, as opposed to 50%. And we're primarily an electrical-based process, so we can use solar power to power the generation systems, and we're not so hungry with the chemical utilization. So it's one of these like magical products to a really big problem that's better, faster, and cheaper.
And will eliminate, as you were saying, 9 months to a year of otherwise timeline.
Better, faster, cheaper. It's not usually you have those overlapping circles in a Venn diagram for your value proposition.
Yeah, no,
you're lucky to have two.
It's amazing, and I was mentioning to you when you sat down this afternoon, like this market is only at the beginning from a standpoint of demand. So as you were saying as well, the scalability of this is almost infinite.
Yeah, it's like kind of the same way that like directional drilling and pressure pumping unlocked unconventional shale oil and shale gas resources in North America. And we went from being like a net importer to a net exporter, particularly down in the United States.
Right.
This is the same way. I mean, like the United States right now, we're only producing, I use we as a Canadian that moved down to America 14 years ago. Right now, there's only one current producing mine, Albemarle's in Silver Peak, and it accounts for less than 1% of the production in the entire world.
Amazing.
But the United States holds 14% of the reserves. So there's a huge, tremendous opportunity to do the same thing like happened 20 years ago, where I was one of the young people that got interested in trying to help engineer solutions for the fracking business. We're going to apply that same magic, that same entrepreneurial spirit, and unlock these resources here.
What would you project at this point, sitting here this afternoon as we are, this market is? What's it worth if you had to put
So right now, the total production, again, we've got 3 different tracks of production.
Yeah.
So we just look at just the continental brines, which accounts for the majority of the production in the Western Hemisphere. Right now, last year, we produced approximately 350,000 tons of lithium carbonate equivalent, which is the way of kind of normalizing production. And we look out to 2035, and we're looking at a demand forecast from like Benchmark and from Goldman Sachs that goes anywhere up to like 3.3 million tons. So a factor of 10 over the next 12 years. And as you know, typically in the mining industry, you don't just go from, hey, I found something, to magically, okay, I'm going to produce it.
Yeah.
But as we saw with the shale oil and shale gas business, is that those resources can be brought online very quickly with the utilization of creative technologies. And so we're positioning what we're doing at Lithos as a way to do things not only more sustainably, but to bring more of these resources online more expediently.
And help the environment, obviously, significantly at the same time.
And make it produced in a way that it's not an embarrassment to humanity.
That's a great way to put it. Scott Taylor, CEO and co-founder of Lithos, brand new again, uplisting today. Guys, day number 1 on CBOE Canada. LITS, bottom of the screen there, OTCQB as well. LITSF for our friends south of the border. It's great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you very much there, Scott. And I'll say this, like whoever allowed, like how you don't have lits already taken, like all of the cool, very easy to say, catchy like symbols, it's like you've got to jump on those. Like it matters, man. Like if you, like the reason I always say this is when you're having a discussion with your friends or whatever and like stock will come up, if the symbol is catchy or the name of the company, something about it like sticks out, and you remember it, there's a better chance that maybe that idea stays with you, or you're gonna pick it up, all that kind of good stuff. So shout out to that, another fantastic interview. We all know like lithium is obviously gonna be popular for a lot of investments. I think most of us have probably been involved one way or another, so good look there, LITS there. You'll see a bit of a change for me. I'll go to, I waited for the high of the day on Affirm, it got there. But Google broke out my stop. So this is Google. Google broke out and I got out. That was the only position I had on short after the Nikola one came out. But it just got a high of the day test on a firm that just pulled back. So I jumped into it. I'm actually seeing 196 on Apple with, oh goodness, okay, call it 180, maybe 190,000 shares on the offer of 196 on Apple. So that's very, very close to breaking a big level to the upside. We're almost in power hour here. The NASDAQ's at the high. So I like the notion of, hey, if we fail this high on the NASDAQ, look for shorts. Obviously 42 has been a big level on Affirm. That was the target area on the long this morning. It got there and pulled back. Now the market's at a key inflection point. If it powers through, I think Apple can be a breakout through 196. I think there's some potential pullbacks here in a few other names. I mean, oddly enough, I wouldn't be surprised if some of the chips would be part of that pullback with you guys there. Coin short, Alan is saying, Coin's been a rocket ship today. I don't think that's got mentioned enough. But you know what? When the market's breaking the highs and something is barcoding like this, I usually like that short setup. And I think that's one of the things you look for. Bitcoin's at pretty much at 43.9, so not failing, but it's underneath the 44,000 level, which passes my litmus test. Not really moving much. You have a bit of a spread, but you have a top here, 144.85. So you're putting up 50 cents here. When it's that tight of a range in a strong market, usually I want to short the top end of the range. Like, why would you chase the bottom? It's been sitting in the same range for 40 minutes. You can short the bottom and risk 40 to 50 extra cents, or you can try to be patient and short the top. Generally speaking, it's like Affirm. If the market's strong, why not actually try to get the top instead of the bottom? So that's the only thing I'd say about Coinbase. It's a super strong stock. Get the best prices when shorting super strong stocks if you're gonna do it. Shad asking if I'm bullish or bearish. I got this question in the morning show, and apologies. I have not been paying attention to Walmart because to me it's a stock that I've owned and I don't really trade. Am I bullish or bearish on it next week? I mean, I don't. Here's my simple answer. Bearish. I own the stock long term. I have no issues with Walmart 2 years from now or 10 years from now. But it just broke the 50 period moving average. Sorry, the 200 period moving average. Check that. That's even worse. It just broke another consolidation down at 152. It's headed toward 150. I suppose the argument would be 150 holds and it's good. But when something breaks the 200 period moving average and then breaks the consolidation under it, I tend to favor the bear side because the daily chart looks bearish to me. So it doesn't mean I'm going to short this stock. I'm probably not even going to trade it. But that's failing the 200 period moving average, and it's down on a strong day in the market. That's enough for me to say bearish based on those two factors alone. So it's not a stock that I would trade, so take that for what it's worth. But does that look like a bullish last couple of days or for Walmart? I don't necessarily think so.
All right, here's LITSF right now is the symbol of lithos that we just had on there on the pink sheet. So this is where it is right now. You can see just back and forth. I just wanted to bring that to your attention because we did talk about it over listing today to the CSE, but there it is on the pink sheets. Thank you so much.
There's high day.
Through. The S&P just took out the year-to-date high. The NASDAQ also starting to rip, but nowhere near the year-to-date high. Why can't I? Oh, man, I'm trying to... that chart of mine, oh, there it is. Okay, I was trying to grab the corner of it. I could not. Okay, looks like Affirm's going to break higher. And when it does, it will be an L. There it is through 42 in just a matter of seconds. So we're short right now. We're short at 80s. So it's not the end of the world. Let's wait to see if it wants to work. AFRM right now. And again, guys, like, I don't know where this is going, but let's wait to see where it goes now. As a firm is right up here, and we're comfortable with it. It's fine. Google, we could get out now. So again, we're short at 12s now on Google, or what I think it might say 11s. Yeah. So it's 1140. So round down right now. So we are short here on Google. Let's see what happens now to this name. I'm bidding to get something out. You know, if we can get something out for flat, I feel like that will be good for now, as the market's really just trended against us here pretty much all afternoon. So not against, I mean, the market's been fantastic. It's
just trending up.
Like I said, man, I mean, we're not, you know, we've given some back, but we're still well in our comfort zone here today. So let's wait. If Google takes out 25, we'll be gone on that one. So it's all good. And Affirm, I think, is going to be a good one as well. Let's just wait to see where that goes right now for AFRM. It is at that regional recent high, and that's why we shorted it, right? So we're just going to stay who we are. We've been shorting Affirm for a while now. It looks like, how could you have shorted it and made some money? But we did short it. I think we had it on this day when it was into 40s. Remember, we kept shorting, and eventually it went back down into the downside. I think we were about flat that day, if not maybe even red. But we had been shorting this name above this area, and it's been paying off. So whatever happens here today, if it takes out 42, just make sure I have the script order in, and yes, I do, then we will get out. So yeah, just another Friday. You are right. I'm going to be doing the podcast tonight, so get ready for that one. That's not going to be a live stream, though. We will be posting that up on tomorrow morning.
Everywhere you can find.
Everywhere you can find. Okay, here comes Google back down. Let's see if we can get some sort of a fill down here. Did we just got a fill? Okay, so I was going to say, because my net changed a little bit there, back up to the upside, which is nice. So all right, come on, Google, man. Again, we probably have too many shares than we should at this level, but we want the short. The market, if it pulls back, this is a weak name. I can try to justify this, but the market's really, I don't know.
The market's at resistance and not really pressing on volume. But just to give you an idea, I showed you my stop was at the high of the day. I will take another short, and I just did when I get wicked out. So I'm going to have a tight stop. I wait for it to get to the top, tight stop at the high. God, it actually had a bit of an overfill. I was able to get out, only paying the spread. It happens. And then when it wicked the top, it got to 96, and then sellers came right in underneath 42. So I jumped back in it for less to give to the 42 level, right? So tight stop, but then jump in it for less because you're giving it to 42 instead of giving it. Like that stop was at the current high of the day, which was pretty much at 86. I think 86, 87 at the time. So I think you can get this 42 break. If it happens, I'm not going long on Affirm. I don't want to chase this on a Friday. The upside. I've got my stop as well. And again, we can talk about using stop orders and not using stop orders. I think there was a good conversation all around with Patrick and Sharif in the afternoon. But I remember when Patrick was talking about specifically trading Mara, Riot, those types of names, and not using stops. The thing about when you're starting out, I actually believe not using a stop is a good thing because you get to practice making executions, getting good on the keys, getting fast, making those decisions. However, there are some situations where you don't necessarily want to get slipped extra. Like you want to have that speed getting out where you don't have to worry about it going 30 cents on you and you getting a really bad fill. So being a human, last I checked, I don't want this to get past that 42 and start squeezing on me. The other name I want to get to is Apple. Probably should have shorted Apple 196 instead. Is what it is. I'll slap the fail on myself. It had 180, 190,000 shares on the offer. It got to 195.98 and then gave you the pullback. Now, if we get there again, it might be a different story. I generally the second time it gets through, or maybe even the third time, the breakout, you'll have more people shorting it because they saw the retracement it made the last time. So given the fact that short worked pretty well, it gets right back up to that top. I think I'll take a shot at this. If it bounces off 96, puts in a higher low than this one at 60, I'll look for the break the third time through. I like that setup for Apple. It's getting spicy. Beatrice, Tellurian's heading to your 80 cents. I went ahead and bought Was 80 cents my level? I'm out of, the firm just broke 42, I'm out of it. I don't remember, I know what you meant. I thought I said Tellurian I would look for a short at 80. So I don't think I would have said I was buying Tellurian at 80. I don't think I would have said that.
All right, we'll slap, there's our breakout at $42 there on a firm. Yeah, I mean, we tried it. This is, you know, when stocks are doing this, like, this is why I went and got a coffee. Like, I'm in just pretty much just chill mode right now. You know, gave some back. You know, this is not going to be the most exciting afternoon here, I feel like. Apple's iPhone and watch product design chief is leaving. So his name is right here. Shout out to Benzinga. We'll just watch out for Google. I mean, Google right now is making the money. This is what we're talking about here, hopefully. There it is right now. Chief Design Officer Tang Tan, not Hang Ten. Tang Tan is set to leave the company in February. Departure will spur changes at Hardware Engineering Group. All right. So I don't know if this was a shock or not. But when you see stuff like this, you just immediately go over to the stock and you find out what exactly is happening. Let's have a quick look to see what is going on with Apple. We've traded Apple today, so let's just click on our blotter and see. So again, really, that news is as of, I see it on here as of 3 o'clock, like almost instantly. So I don't really see. Like, that pullback is off of 196. That's probably
just the size and the level.
I mean, you know what? It could be news related. I mean, this is a pretty dramatic move. So yeah, this is probably it right there. Yep. So I would say big spike there on volume. That, to me, that's probably something. But again, it could just be like we said there, fail of 196, and then back in. So that could be what's good right there for Apple. It doesn't appear to be any sort of a movement on that news. Look, man, we're short Google at an amazing 113 or 135. 14s right now. So it's a nice little move down, but again, we're just short right here. My bid is at 05. Maybe we get, you know, let's just start to take little piece by piece out here. How about that? We pieced it in, maybe we'll piece it out and then hold for something a little bit lower if it does go. I did notice though, I might stop using the NASDAQ gateway. I feel like so many times when I'm trading NASDAQ stocks, like it kind of stops when it hits. Like right now, you know, like somebody's bidding there. I can't even get a fill. I actually got a fill there, so I shouldn't say that, but I was on ARCA. But yeah, pick your gateway, basically.
What's interesting, just there on a firm, because I had I'll show you what happened on a firm. It'll look like a cluster, like in here. Like I got stopped out. I had a quick overfill, so I didn't want the position, and it was more than I was trading at that moment. I threw a NASDAQ because it's like the way I'm set up, like on my NASDAQ stocks, the easiest key for me to hit is NASDAQ. Yeah. Go figure, like obviously. So I hit that to just sit there and get out because it was liquidity. It didn't fill. I quickly canceled and threw to a reverse gateway and got it insta-filled.
That's it.
Same orders, same price.
Go.
On Edge A, filled instantly because you pay. Like I pay to add liquidity instead of getting paid to add liquidity. I was paying to add liquidity. But I'm looking for it to get back underneath this 43. This looks a little bit better.
42.
Off that level. 42. It's 42 is my favorite number. I should never make that mistake.
Yeah.
Go, Jackie. I'll mention Tellurian. There was a thought process. You know what? I'll go to Tellurian. If it gets under 42, I am going to go back into for my want weakness under there. What I was saying for Tell, it's a big level at 80, but the way I approach this is it's resistance till it's not at 80. This is 82 cents on Tellurian, this local high. Like I'd look for the break at that level at 82, and then I'd use 80 as my stop, or like 77 when it came to it, depending on how explosive it looks on that day. And I'm talking about a day trade. Like I've owned this stock once on a dollar play, which is, again, it's very, very gimmicky. It was not an investment. It was stock broke dollar, stock were getting $1 2 days later, go long with a stop at the low. Like that was it. Like that was the play. Like I think I got 4s, and my stop was at like 92 because that was the local bottom. I was an idiot. I didn't take it out here. It pulled all the way back. I was smart. I took it out there. And then now it's a piece of you know what. So that'd be a different trade. I think you trade a breakout when it shows you strength above a key level. So I think 80, I'd want an 82 break if I were to trade this one as a day trade again. Strong move today for Tellurian. And I'm not sitting here trying to predict what's going to happen with natural gas either. Like I didn't even look at a nat gas chart when I made that trade in my personal. It was just it's a dollar play. I'm risking 10% to try to make 40. It's very very gimmicky, and it's just a technical set. It was just a technical trade, 100%. Like most of the times, for myself, if you hear me say I'm buying something in my personal account, it's because I want to hold it forever. And if it's a trade, like, oh, trust me, I'll tell you like 5 times in the same paragraph or same rant that I'm making a trade and not an investment in something.
Yeah.
So Tellurian, and I'm saying it over and over again on purpose. I'm not investing in that stock, pretty much ever.
Look, it's really too bad like that. It's not too bad. I mean, it's a decision that we made. But the thing is like Google's making the move back down in right now. We just got some fills down there. It just actually broke through 135 and stopped. So that's a little bit puzzling to me. So let's see if there's something there. But the thing is I had the exact same amount of shares on Affirm as I did on Google. So we were short at 80, I think it was, what was it, 84s, 83s, something like that on Affirm. We took the hit. I mean, the hit is that. We're done that. Affirm, we lost that 20 cents plus a little bit of slippage on that one. But right now, this is what I'm saying. Like net, like, what's up, Matt? Money. This is for Matt Carnes there in the chat. He says he's had a fantastic week, like I think like a lot of us have had, hopefully, in the chat. Yeah, just kicking off another Friday. That's for you, Matt. Congratulations on your successful day, week, month, and hopefully your history of trading. And yeah, you know, this is just what trading, like, look, see, we just failed under again. Look at these fills, guys. Like, this is, and I think that Patrick, you know, and again, like, you know, put some ones up in the chat for Patrick. I mean, I think that I haven't made many good decisions, but I think Patrick was a great one. The thing about it is, look, like he said, we have the ability here, and when he's at home trading, and I know when you guys are at home trading as well, it is tough to reverse your positions and to, like, you know, like here we can literally do it. Like I can put, you know, when I first started here, which is 20 years ago, I used to be able to put, look at all, I don't even know where he is right now, but everyone's loving Patrick in the chat, so thank you so much for that support. The idea is that we have the ability to flip our positions like super quick, and you can change your mind, and you could do things like what we're doing right now. You know, like you may not have enough capital in your account to hold however many shares of Affirm you want, plus however many shares of Google that you want. Let's just say it's a couple hundred shares of each. Well, you need to have, you know, 100, like this is just a difference of being at a prop firm. See, I still have a gangster calculator. When's the last time anyone used a calculator, really? Even Sharif today asked Siri these things. 135 times, let's just say you have 200 shares of each. You know, it's $27,000 alone. Like some of our accounts, you got to be over 25,000. Of course, we talked about PDT rule and stuff like that. But again, you're not going to have sometimes as much capital to do things like that. You'll hear me sometimes say, man, I don't know why I'm like short AMD and long Google. You know, we have the ability to flip our positions up like that. And that is something that I don't take lightly. And I know that there's a lot of traders out there that maybe don't have that ability. And I understand that that's a big advantage for us as well. So, you know. And
prop traders and averaging in and retail traders and averaging is a very different thing.
Yeah. And then so also, which Neil talked about earlier too, is about changing up on the gateways that you choose.
Calculator too. But
Yeah. Changing the gateways that you use.
I use that thing.
This is.
Does it even work?
Yes. What do you mean? There's 27,000 right there.
Oh, okay. What's
Does it
jokes?
work?
No, there was
one.
one.
Calculators from like 1980 that one.
Don't you remember the one we had on our? Remember the one we had on our bridge? That one.
Yeah.
Died.
Yeah. Oh well. Eventually, I think this one has a little solar situation here.
Same. We had a Casio solar
Two-way
one
power.
on our old floor back. We took with us from the head office before we opened our floor in 2005, and that died like a couple of years ago. I use it all the time as a calculator because every now and then it's like, okay, it's like percent from this or like amount of shares, what's the notional value of X or whatever, and I'll have it up there. And I'm like, I'm not doing that crap in my head when I'm trying to trade. No. It's not that you can't. It's just that why would you bother? And I understand you can sit there and you can ask. You could ask your phone that too, but I guess I don't have the muscle memory to do it. It's weird because I'm not a person that asks my phone when I easily could. And that's even since I went from like the old BlackBerry where, you know, you probably couldn't, to this thing. I love the Pixel. It's been fantastic, but there are times I really do miss. There are times I miss the keyboard. I'm not gonna lie. I keep it real. The other thing I wanted to get to was Apple. We keep talking about Apple here. Apple It has not made that charge back to 196. Get out of here, Wick. Let's zoom in. So then there's another one. So that's actually stair-stepping down. So, you know, I guess we're not taking a 96 breakout if it doesn't break out at 96. That probably goes without saying. Not going to happen. It could get back there again. It's now 3:10. There's still time, but the closer we get to 4 o'clock, the quicker any trade would be on a breakout anyways, because there's less time for it to go, so it'd be like a really fast in and out. Coinbase is trying to break out, though. I just checked. We're at 43.
No, 44. Yeah, well, it depends where you look. Yeah, you're right there.
You know what? I just looked at Binance, realizing
It's all the same, dude. It's like 43.9, 44. Like,
no, I know, but I trust my trading view one a little bit better. Yeah, my trading view says we're breaking out here. I just look. It is what it is. It's all the same thing. I just trust my trading view one a little bit better. So that is breaking out to the upside. Be careful shorting Coinbase, because I just saw someone in the chat say short coin. I don't know. I just tried that a couple times on a firm, and it's at 42.20. It's not like it's going that far away from 42, but it keeps breaking 42. I can tell you that much. It's a strong stock. The market's pulling back as this is happening. You saw what just happened to Apple. If something is still breaking out, I don't think you want to fight it at this point. Look for something which is stair-stepping to that downside, I think.
All right, so we only got 20% left of Google. Google just went up and back down into 135 again, so we'll take that profit. That's like, look, like I said, we only have 20% left, but it's so far so good on this trade. I just did have GBTC up here. I mean, we can, we can possibly look at this. Oops, what am I doing? GBTC, there it is. Look at the move. There you go, as Bitcoin continues to go to the upside right now. Again, here it is right now. We'll wait to see what's going on. There it is, 44,031 right now. Let me just refresh this. I have no idea where the chart went. There it is, loading interactive chart. So here we go. Yeah, there it is, nice little move upside, but we are just bouncing off of where we already were earlier today. So I'd like to see, obviously, a clean break. Watch out, there goes GBTC. See, there's Bitcoin, there's GBTC. So for some of you that are looking to trade something that is very, very closely related, it is, in my opinion, GBTC for the dub on that. Okay, after that, obviously, it was a great out on a firm as that keeps on going to the upside. So unfortunately, what we make in Google, we gave back in a firm. Net at the end of the day, unfortunately for us. So that's fine. And then, someone just said, what about the short on Palantir? Yeah, but I don't know, it's not that great yet. I mean, obviously, I think if you want to break the 50-period moving average, that could be something. But you broke it here and bounced off the 200, then you resisted it there to make the move up. So, yeah, you might be onto something. A break of the 50-period right there. For me, I'd like to see it break that and then get below 79. Actually, I could get on board with this one. The market's heading below the 50-period moving average. The problem is we're nowhere near view up, and we're in a little bit of a slow moment here for the day, obviously. It's power hour, but it's Friday afternoon. It feels like volumes are a little bit lower. And now with Bitcoin dancing around 44,000, maybe there's something, and not that Palantir has anything to do with Bitcoin, but maybe the NASDAQ. Sometimes and we talked to Michael Noss about this. I talked to Brian Shannon about this, everybody. And that is that there is a little bit of a correlation, they feel like anyways, with the NASDAQ and with Bitcoin.
BTC, yeah.
So
volumes are lower in the NASDAQ.
Yeah. We'll just wait and see what happens.
Acknowledging one thing, I'll get to Rivian because that was a great idea, and I do like it, and I'll get into why. But understanding, of course, that the forward contract is doing some volume today, so some of the decrease in volume that you'll see on your ES and your NQ charts is because you could be trading the forward contract, but it's doing like, what did you say, 1/4 of the volume when you checked?
That was earlier this morning, yeah.
Okay, so it was 1/4 when we checked in the morning. It'll be less. So some of that decrease is due to the fact that people are looking at the forward contract, but it's a low volume afternoon either way. Now here's where I hear a good idea, and I'm like, regardless of what happens in this trade, it's something I should usually listen to. The exact out where I didn't reverse on Rivian, as the market's getting to the high of the day, the breakout that I loved on Rivian today at those key levels, where I stopped out was right at this 15 mark. Where it turned around was right at that 15 mark, and I didn't reverse to look at the short at that level. So when the market gets back to the highs, and the same level where the stock failed, what I thought was my second favorite long, why not look for a short? It's not tearing through the high of the day like a firm is. It's not tearing to the high of the day like Apple is, or insert whatever thing is at the high of the day right now. It gives you a chance where there was selling before that won. It wasn't just that there was selling before, but the selling actually won the battle at that price level. So, the second it was suggested in the chat, it's like, yeah, why not do something like that, Super SPAC man? Key levels are meant to be observed and traded around. How you choose to trade them is just a preference on the setup and your bias, what the market's telling you. So this is a key level. Clearly it is. Like, that was the right place to have stopped out. If I had held it past that level, I get wrecked even more. If you reversed into a short, that was a perfect place to have done it in terms of having a secondary position. And it's at that price again. So if I think the market's going to pull back, then I think this should be a short on Rivian. So we'll take that shot. The other thing to get to, like I said, Apple, I don't know if we see 196 again. I'm looking around. Tesla is the other name that was trying to go here. Tesla's making a lower high. That never hurts if you're shorting another EV name. So Tesla not really screaming yet. I thought maybe we'd see a 245 level. Tesla's trying to get going here. You're running out of time for this to actually make a run at 45 to do something with it. Like, the breakout's probably out the window now. Like, it's not breaking out the top. I thought 45 had room to 47. Well, if it has to go another $1.30 to get to the high, and it's taking this long, we'll probably get there by Tuesday.
Palantir might just break. That's not
Up?
Break up. Yeah, I mean, the market's just continuing to go here.
18.
So I don't know. Again, it's 316 right now. At 330, we'll get those closing imbalances. It's next Friday that we have the S&P 500 rebalancing,
Uber.
which is going to be monster as well. Uber 200 million shares to go in, and then SolarEdge to come out. And we'll have some more details on that when the day comes through. We'll get the research and we'll figure that all out right now. So, Palantir breaking 18. I mean, that's obviously going to be something as well. But again, it's the same stuff over and over again that I'm going to keep saying. And it's just like, I just don't know if there's going to be enough steam to really take advantage of this, because you're going to have to hold it back down. If you want to, you could trade it for a quick scalp. Nothing wrong with that. It's just, and that was another thing that Patrick had said, like, he'll like to go in and then just get out immediately. And that's, again, another kind of different trading strategy on bigger share size. You
can go 1s to 5s on a break like that.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So this could happen right there on that one if you did want it. I think that there could be definitely something. Look at this. There's size. We can see if it's going to follow it up right now. It's only 65,000 shares, but there it is right there. So not a big order. That's probably Aunt Kathy. Let's see if it comes up. So there it's at 88. Here we go. This is how you tape read. So let's just wait to see. I mean, that's the tape, but we'll see if we can level 2. Yeah, so see, it's not following it up right now, right? Either this order is just passive, sitting there at 788, not chasing it up. What you'd like to see is a chaser, right? Like, if this could come up there, and then again and again and keep following it, then what I would actually look for is it to get exhausted and then slam the short for a quick scalp. So that's the other strategy there. But look, now we're up to 90s. Let's see if that follows. It looks like it's going to sit there. We have EdgeX book, so I'll be able to see this order no matter what for at least 5 levels, maybe 10 on EdgeX.
The chaser can be key. I mean, personally,
it's not going now, but maybe because
I just rather something smooth enough that I don't have to worry about a chaser after. But
let's see.
In the trading context, there's no questions about it.
Yeah.
Actually, the funny thing is, I told Sean this already. Like, it's Friday, we do movie night at my house. I'll probably have an adult beverage. If we sign Ohtani, I'm going into the good stuff. And if we don't, it's going to be some bar rail now.
We're going to that Wonderland tonight, so we got invited to go to that.
Oh, yeah? Nice. Yeah,
We're not going to bring the skates, though, because my kids skate too much, but they're excited to do some of the rides.
We're supposed to go on Sunday, and it's going to piss rain on Sunday, so I'm not excited about that.
It'll be fine. It won't rain.
Oh, it will. It looks like we're not. Okay, whatever. I'm putting my phone down. If you see, I don't usually sit there with my phone on the show, but I see a message, and they're all talking about, everybody in every WhatsApp chat that I'm in just keeps saying, we just got Ohtani. And every single time, they've all been wrong. So they all suck. All of you guys.
You'll see it immediately. Like,
well, that's the
my
thing.
Phone will start.
No, you guys will go nuts. Like, the skull will be going crazy. There was a question about a swing for AAL. I've never owned the airlines. I'm not a huge fan of the airlines in a general sense. However, it's been strong. They've been making a run to the upside. My question would be, like, you'd swing long as it's getting into a resistance. Like, it's at the 200 period without breaking it. It just pulled back off of $14. Like, it filled most of it. It's not really a gap, but the biggest down candle was on a fail at $14, right? So biggest down candle to the bottom at 11. It's just getting to this resistance without breaking it. Generally speaking, and for myself, any swing trade I've ever done has been something along the lines of, hey, it holds this 50 period here, and then breaks out a top. So I'd go long here to there. Like that's generally what I would usually look to do. So the next would be like breaking this out at 14, closing above the 200 period, and then going there to like 16 or 16 and a half. So maybe I'm not seeing something you're seeing technically, but this is just how I look at charts. Obviously, this has not been a very good-looking stock in the last couple of months since the middle of the summer, but it's in the middle of a nice run. It's at a resistance point. Always nicer when it breaks through. I prefer to join the party instead of like make it, if I can, on a stock. Like I'm not going to be I'm not the person turning the stock. Let somebody else start the buying, and I'll just try to identify it and join and ride the wave. Like I'd much rather just go that way than try to figure it out. James Dell, I know it's all over the internet, but we're not seeing confirmations. Like all of the really good, here's the tell, and look, I'm a sports guy. Sean, we're all into sports. When the main beat writers and the ones that usually have the scoops, when they start confirming the story, then you can trust it, right? Like in the NFL, you know who it is. Here, when Shai Davidi says that we have them, then I'll be, or Ben Nicholson. Those are two that I'll be celebrating for. But I am dead serious. I am 100% regretting, and I actually just messaged my wife, why did we not already book for spring training next year? We know we want to go. We've made a critical error in not booking, because if the Jays get Ohtani, then I'm paying double than we did last year. I promise you that. Like the great rates in Tampa, like you get an Airbnb with a pool it's fantastic. But it's going to be a little bit different when we get Shohei. So I'm in this Rivian. I forgot to tell you where the out was. It's not that hard to figure out. Local highs at 19.20. We get out at 19.20. Oh, T Blanc, you're long at 13. That's a different story. Context matters, man. So context matters. You're long this consolidation. I assume you had an out before, maybe a 12.5, maybe a 12 even. I don't know if you've rang the register already, but you know. Congratulations. So it's taking the stairs up. You took the next stair to the upside. I love that setup. I love it for a day trade. I love it for a swing. I don't know where you want to take profit on that. That's entirely up to you at all times. So Apple, we might get a crack at that 196. We are running out of time, but it just got to 75. Come on, get up. Like you want it to get there. Like it's just more a level like that. Like you either want to short it and get 97s, maybe 95 to 99. So I said 97s. If you want that kind of a short, or you want it to break out, and then you grab that long at ones, maybe scalp it out, see if it can't make 50 cents or a buck or whatever it can do in the limited time it has left. But if it doesn't actually get to that price, it's not very exciting. Not at all. So I got my eyes on Apple. Obviously, I'm in Rivian. I have Tesla up. It doesn't seem to want to go. So if there's anything that's moving, let me know. Because I'd like to see if there's something that can do something in this low volume afternoon. You don't necessarily want to overtrade. Obviously, I wish a firm had been like a hold long all day long. Jennifer Schultz saying AVGO has gone plaid. I mean, a lot of things. Wow, okay, this is going. Not much of a day trading stock. My experiences on things that trade at or close to 1,000 positively, I think the only stock that ever had a price like that I've seen people make money on this trading floor was Tesla. Because when Tesla was at 1,000, its liquidity wasn't like $1,000 stock. Like it was a $1,000 stock that traded like a $300 stock. You could actually get in and out of it, no problems. This is just a different story up here for these guys. But yeah, good move out to the upside. On volume, it just broke out the top. And it's retaking some pretty key levels here today. But this is not a day trade stock for us.
Okay. Oh, this is pretty cute. I'm going to retweet this. All right, check out this from, I'm going to retweet it right now. Fun little post here. Look at this. This is an AI-generated Bears and Bulls Christmas party. You know, so it's pretty hilarious. That looks like John Madden back there. I don't know who that is.
You know, okay, first observation, you know what's the important thing about that? That is Madden.
Why would he be
that? Looks like Madden to me, dude.
AI generated image of the day. Bulls and Bears at a holiday party.
Notice how the Bulls are drinking champagne. What do the Bears have in their hands?
Plastic cups, I guess.
It's a bull market, man.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
Who's
Yeah,
drinking the
they're
champagne?
always going the other way. No, this is pretty cool. I can't believe this is AI generated. This is pretty sick. Right there. Anyways, yeah, cool picture here. Obviously, they're at the NYSE, I guess. I don't know, but pretty cool there. Nice little picture. This is awesome. So, anyways, this is what AI is all about. So I
Go back to no. Ramin was just saying nonsense in my ear. Stay on the picture.
I thought we're taking that mic away from her, but I guess that's not happening. Yeah.
Either we get a mic so that you guys can hear them, which would be, I think that would be fun. But I like that. I think really the Bulls should be having, just make sure that's the good stuff because the Bulls deserve it.
Yeah, it
this
seems
year.
like it is definitely. What a bull year it was been today.
It's crazy. It looks just like Madden. You can't zoom that. Can you?
Well, I mean, it does. Not really. Yeah, it does. It doesn't really matter if it's Madden, I guess, or not.
But if it's AI generated, it's like how does it look like Madden if it is? If it was some
unless they
artist,
told it to do that.
if it's just a random artist, they would have been like, okay, I'm a fan of John Madden. Let's put him in there. Rest in peace.
Yeah, they kind of screwed this up. Like this guy has like a 1. This guy doesn't even have. Is he supposed to be wearing horns up there, or is that like? Oh no, that must be a candle. Oh no, I feel like the AI screwed up here somewhere. Anyways, all right.
Dude, there's like an arm coming out of this guy.
That's
that
what I'm
makes
saying.
no
Like,
sense.
look at that right here. Like they're trying to cheers it, I guess. But that's the problem with AI, as we said. Like it's never going. Well, it is going to. At some point, it's going to be perfect. But
Oh, and the fur's messed up on one of the Bulls.
that's what I mean. Like
on the bear, sorry.
at some points, it's gonna get better. But that was pretty cool there. Yeah, shout out to Hydration Nation as well. What's up to everybody? Who just said that? Yeah, okay.
You're having a pretzel, dude.
Yeah, I'll have a pretzel in a second. Just quickly here, Google, just hovering. I mean, maybe we'll take another fill here at, let's just put a bid at O's or something like that. See if we can get a fill back down there. Hopefully we can get that. What's up, Chef Joe? How's it going, my guy? I hope, yeah, like I said, I think BTC will break. I think BTC is going to go this weekend for sure. I want to say for sure. I feel like it is kind of ramping up a little bit here on Bitcoin. And I mean, if you're just going to go over, to like a 1 hour chart or something, I mean, this base at 43 is very strong. Like it could have easily done this. Like, look how easy it chops through 43. It's like, see ya. This is an hour chart, right? So this goes all the way back to the 5th, which is going to be Tuesday. So there it is, a nice move up, and we hadn't. That's not a break, So it's like we haven't broken it, and then right now it's just like hits it, stops. Now you get to this level. All you're going to need to do is take this out, which it's trying to right now. Then easily 45 after that.
48, baby.
And then it's going to. I mean, it's going to go to 50.
Well, I think
matter of when. At this point, I mean, Bitcoin's up 100 and.
When
I
we
wrote
show
it down.
you,
I should have this. I wrote down for the podcast. 180% or something this year. It's
don't spoil the content for the podcast.
well,
No,
yeah. I mean, I'll be talking about crypto.
There will be some crypto on the podcast, but the reason I
Cardano's
say
up 40%. Anyways, yeah.
the reason I say 48 is just when we're trading, you'll see us use short-term charts. I will tell you, when I'm looking at Bitcoin for myself, I'm using a 1 month chart. So because I essentially just hold it, so I use a higher time frame. 48 is a big, significant level on the monthly. Back from March, like that is, like it's easily from a technical standpoint, like this 32 break. Like also think of the symmetry here. Okay, so 16,000 support into a 32,000 resistance into a breakout to get to 48,000. I mean, come on. Like it's a nerd game, it's a math game. 16, 32, 48. Like it just has to. How could it not? It has to do it. We didn't come all this way not to. Every time I say that, I'm like, how did Luca finish that one? We didn't come all this way not to get to the level. And I'm like, that seems like a very anticlimactic way to finish that one. Leo saying Upstart and Jennifer, they're both talking about Upstart here today. That's a strong one. I mean, what's weird about this is I know Upstart and Affirm are not the same thing, but they tend to have strong moves together. And I don't wonder if you can't just start playing the, hey, if you miss a breakout on one, just have a look on the other and maybe you get to set up there. Speaking of breakouts, it feels late in the day, but sheesh. Upstart's at the high from Wednesday. So this is exactly what Affirm just did at 42. 37, 32, it looks like is the high, maybe 30 here on Upstart. Maybe that can go, but it's 330 already. I don't like breakouts on. Like you have to, it's a scalp trade if you take a break for me. Like I wouldn't be breaking this out for more than like 30 or 40 cents. I'd be getting in and getting out because we got 30 minutes, 20 to the imbalances. Rivian, I think, is a trade that I can sit in a consolidation level looking for it to break down with limited risk that it's doing anything crazy right now. Like, it's not doing moves like it did in the morning, so I can get something muted going into the close. Kurt Hoffman, Bitcoin uses bit algos, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I mean, anybody that looks at charts of Bitcoin knows that trading it off of technicals has really been a good way to go. I know some people have done it successfully. I know some people that only care about buying and holding. You just do you. At some point, we're going to get it on the platform, and I know we're all excited to see that.
Yeah, we should be able to get that traded. I was just looking. We also have Cardano with some moves today, up another 20%.
We have the chart of that. I know we.
Well, we had it before. Yeah, it was going around 24, 25 cents, and then it blew up. Okay. I mean, Ethereum was a good one. You know what? We haven't. Let's just check back in on Roblox today. We're flat on this name. I wish we were up on it, but you know, we had the long early. It was good, and then that last little break there is just completely flat. And now look what it's doing all afternoon. I just wanted to check back on this. Not much happening. I mean, we've had some good discussions about a couple different things here this afternoon, but for right now, like that little drop, yeah, I mean 40.80. It's not worth doing anything on Roblox. Let's check out GameStop. Maybe something's moving in this spot. 15.75. Okay, so GameStop is moving a little bit to the downside.
Ooh, AI,
underneath now VWAP, underneath the 50, underneath the 200, bouncing off the 50 right now. GameStop at day's low.
Imbalance is 960 to buy.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a little bit
Not nothing.
pretty spicy. What about this GameStop break of the day low? I think that could be something.
Day low?
Yeah, down 4% here today, and we've seen this happen before many times with GameStop. It just needs to get some volume. There was, Ryan Cohen can now unleash his funds by buying GameStop if he wants. I guess he's not. That was this move yesterday. There's the 200 period, again, 1550. I mean, we're getting close. I think we could break, like if we broke that bottom of the day, what about, I mean, we probably don't have to pay for shorts, but that 1550 could be something. So what is that break? Yeah, I don't know. Is it worth 10 cents? Maybe. I mean, do we have to pay for shorts? Let me just try 100
We
shares.
didn't yesterday.
Try 100 shares. No, we don't. Okay, so we don't have to. Yeah, so maybe this breaks 1560, and we think about going short. There is a little bit of possibly a chaser here, trying to find this to go to the downside. Could be a trade. All right,
I like AI maybe.
Yeah,
this is doing.
We just got a little bit out on Google. It's not. Yeah, C3AI, that was earnings a couple days ago. There's Google, just fell back in. So we took out something there. 135. Again, 20 cents. We'll put that in our pocket. We're just trying to stack up here a little bit. We obviously lost on that Affirm trade, and we're making that a little bit of it back anyways right now with Google. Let's wait for a pullback. Now the futures maybe go down. Again, you're so far away from VWAP. I don't think we're getting there. We're well over 16,000. We tried to break 16,000 there. That's an exhaustion candle to the downside. Then boom, right back up. So yeah, I don't think anything's happening right now. Let's wait to see what does happen with the NASDAQ. I feel like down here makes sense anyways. 16,080. Let's think about a 20 handle move down. That should get us to where Google needs to go to get us out in here in the 70s. That's where I'm bidding. Let's see what happens with Google.
Shout out to Bears versus Bulls, the best moderator in the world, who is also sending me Shohei Ohtani to the Blue Jays rumors. Look, man, I hope it happens. It's still nothing official. If you happen to care about it, there's nothing official, but it is going to be a big deal. You know what would be really cool is, I mean, Shohei Ohtani, the guy is going to make, let's call it, I mean, I've heard 500 million, I've heard 600 million, whatever. Let's say it's 10 years, $550 million. And then I don't know what he pulls in endorsements in Japan, but I'm going to promise you it's got to be north of 30, 40 million a year. I mean, I don't know. It's
going to be 600 million.
But if he's not making tens of millions in endorsements in Japan, I'd be surprised if that were not the case. So this guy's going to make 60, 70 million dollars. I would love to know, hey, what's Shohei going to do with his money? Like, where is he investing it? There's like a lot of times you see that with athletes. It's like, what did they do with their first million? And you're like, what? What are you doing? That's your decision? And it'll be like some guy who isn't Shohei Ohtani. Usually I'm not saying, like, look, lots of guys, they make good money. So
I mean, his net worth is already north of 100 million.
Yeah, of course it is. But a lot of times you'll see the video, and it's a guy who probably get a rookie contract, say in the NFL, and you're going to make, maybe you make a couple of $1 million. It's not really guaranteed past the first 3 or 4 years, and then you see the purchases, and you're like, ooh, that's a little bit interesting. But yeah, I think he's obviously going to be set and fine, but I'll be curious to see, A, where he lives in Toronto. That'll be interesting. And B, what he does with some of those millies. But we'll let you guys know. When I was talking about C3AI, if something is not breaking the high of the day, and this is like Rivian, like it's consolidating and not showing strength. So if the market falls, I'm just looking for it to break the levy to the downside, where you can sit in a short at very low risk. Like you could stop out 41, you could stop out at 53, whatever your pleasure would be, how far you think it can go down, and look for that retracement play. I'm already sitting in one of those with Rivian that I would argue is a weaker name. The difference here is AI is up 9%, and it's a squeeze name. Like Rivian, I'm not saying Rivian isn't a squeeze name, but it's not a squeeze name the way that C3AI is, right? Like, let's get that notion out of the way. And this failed this level already. So that's like, there's a reason I like Rivian, and maybe AI presents you with a bigger potential move to the downside, but just because it has a bigger potential move and therefore reward doesn't mean it's a better setup. Because one of them is short under where I know sellers won, and the other one is a stock that has been breaking backs. Oh, you know what? I forgot to say this. Not trading AI was my best trade today. And it was actually, I put this one in my notes very specifically in a way that I wouldn't make the mistake, because yesterday I was like, oh, underneath 26, short AI. So it broke 26, got down to 25, snapped back, and then 25.70 held support. Now, why does 25.70 matter? Because 25.70 is this low on the daily. So I came into today saying, okay, well, forget about 26. If it doesn't take out 25.70, don't look for the breakdown, because I'm looking for a breakdown of 23 on C3I. If you shorted 26, it would have looked good for a minute and stopped you out. Maybe you got you could have been washed out maybe 2 or 3 times in all of that chop. And I said to myself, do not get caught in the chop between 25.70 and 26.25. Only shorted if it breaks 25.70. It never did. Ends up being a rip your face off rally to the upside that we avoided. It's back above 28, which is the key level for this stock. It's gonna, if it closes above 28, it's actually pretty bullish. Now I'm really glad I'm not short the stock. This is bullish on AI if it closes above 28. That was a very, very big inflection point several times on this stock, as evidenced by it being the only line on my chart that's not the 50 or the 200 period moving average. So I don't know. Let us know if you guys see anything that's trading that's any good. I'm not really seeing anything. Bitcoin's making a good run. I'm still watching for Tesla not to look like it's paint drying. Even AMD's not moving right now.
You know what's a little bit of a surprise right now? I see some people talking about ACB and everything like that, which right there, what's up to David Kyle?
ACB?
Yeah, I mean, some of these marijuana names continue. I mean, this is up 10%. I actually bought, I mean, I was literally down 90%. Like, again, I cashed out of a lot of them anyways, but from what I had left. And I recently bought a little bit more down here. I think marijuana, I mean, you could look at, I think now, after looking at the way these all trade, you could pick individual names. So I don't know why MSOS is down, but what I was going to get at is, I feel like an ETF is probably the safest thing to do here, you know, for cannabis, and MSOS is a good one as far as I know. So I feel like that's something to look at there. But if you want to pick up a depressed name, that's why I was looking at CGC again. This is Canopy Growth, and of course they own a bunch of different brands and you know, edibles and drinks and everything. Just a whole bunch. It basically just, they bought acreage. They're in a lot of different things there, and products and industries based around marijuana consumption and cannabis. So this name down here at 50 cents, I mean, it seems like a pretty decent bottom. I don't even want this chart to load up. I mean, there it goes. So I was gonna say, like, you want to talk about, like I said, Starbucks the other day had a record of 16 straight down days or something. Like this name, ever since it broke that $2, first of all, you touched it right there again, and then came right back. But like, this is pretty pathetic, you know, straight to the downside. But at the same time, man, we bounced off 40, 50 cents now a couple times. That could be the thing down there. Another name to look at if you are interested in this kind of a play is going to be Tilray. And again, another one, and I've just averaged into a lot of these. Tilray doesn't look like it's moving halfly or nearly as much as CGC, so I'm not sure why they're moving not the same.
Remember last time there was a run?
News.
CGC, remember CGC moved better than Tilray the last time too.
Yeah, okay.
The last up move, I remember that because we were saying the same thing. We were saying why is Tilray's just not moving the same way CGC is. I actually just checked Sundial; it's not doing anything either. So maybe it is a CGC thing. I don't know.
Yeah, we're let's just wait on it. Again, not sure. It's 340 right now. Here's what the imbalances look like. We always give you a little bit of a sneak peek on this. It was 960 to buy, 960 million. So if you were to add up, if you go to the screen, I mean, just quickly, if we're gonna add up like all of this, the buys, the sells, and everything, the number that we got was 960 to buy, and that's of course on Financial Juice. You guys can go all find that on X and follow them. But yeah, so these are just orders that are going to get paired off at the end of the day. They're market on close orders. So at 350, right now they're all just being recently updated right now. So and of course the NASDAQ ones sometimes hang around if there's not enough interest in them. Then they'll just go as basically expired market on open orders. So there's one there on bets, there's one there on dare. There's one there on wit.ny. Like, what is that? It must be a penny stock. Okay, I'm surprised that didn't get done. All right, so anyways, like some of these names, YMMs, well, CNQ may be good, but SU. So there is some energy names here that are buys. Again, next week, when we have the rebalancing, you're going to see a number in the billions. Now, you might get that today as well because it's already $1 billion to buy, but you're probably going to get like $7, $8, $9, $10 billion on the rebalance. There's 200 million shares, right, of Uber already that are supposed to be going in.
Yeah, Uber is going to be insane.
That itself could be insane. It won't show that on here. No. That'll just be like what the final print is. XOM with the buy. So again, Suncor, CNQ, XOM, Uber, they're selling it today. Today's not the day. JP Morgan with the buy. I was just seeing if there was any. Why is that not loading up? Why is JP Morgan not? Okay, there it is. All right.
That's weird.
I was just going to see if there was any other energy names, but there is not. So JP Morgan a buy, there's Citigroup with a buy as well, WFC with a sell. Anyways, that's just what it is. McDonald's has been on one recently, actually, up to 290. This is we talked about this the other time, V-shaped recovery. You're going to see it when and if it loads.
What's that new thing? It's a cosmic? Is that what they're calling it?
Is there a cosmic?
Well, I think it's like these. No, they're making they're doing like a limited number of retro stores.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Sharif and Brennan were talking about it the other day.
EPC's 44.2
I think it's
right
like
now.
12 or something. Anyways, McDonald's, one of the most successful real estate companies in the world. They're fantastic. Yeah. Every now and then, you don't want a burger and fries. You just want McDonald's. That's the way I think about it. And I'm one of those people. You will see me. I am back into Nikola. My price. Okay, so on our position board, they don't show past 2 decimals because a lot of the stocks are not going to be penny stocks. But I am short here, pretty much right in front of 74.5. So Nikola got back to 75. This is not very creative. This is where I shorted it this morning. It got right to that level and failed it, so it broke down the channel. I did not catch short because it was SSR. You can't hit the bid. But it came back up and picked me up here just underneath 74.5. If it breaks this local high, I'm out. It's less than 1 cent worth of risk, and I got bids at every even penny until it gets to 72. So I'm back into Nikola. Rivian is very slowly, paint dryingly, it's not really a proper English, working its way back into VWAP. So it just printed 05. Thank you, Super SPAC Man. It's moving a little bit. If it breaks VWAP, I'll have a little piece. We got 7 minutes till those imbalances come through. And let's see what happens. Joe Warner saying Hood. Is Robinhood actually moving today?
Good. Oh, I don't know.
No, you know what? It would be. I miss the days when Robinhood, it's actually been making a nice run. So I was about to say I miss the days when Robinhood would move. Hey, look at that. Robinhood's actually been moving the last week. I've not been paying attention to it because it's not generally a stock we trade, but this is actually on a tear through $10, through the 200 period moving average. Where is this going to be a sell? I don't believe in it. So 13 bucks. Robinhood gets to 13 next week. I'm looking for a short at those levels. It's typically been a very controlled stock, meaning when it gets to key price levels, like you can generally speaking not get your face ripped off if you go short off of them. Right, like it's like Palantir will get to 19. Like it's not as if you're getting out worse than 10s if it breaks an even dollar level on Palantir. So you can reasonably short 98, 99 in Palantir and know that you're not getting any worse than like on the back end of it, 05s, 06s, 07s. Robinhood's generally been that kind of stock. So if it gets to 13, I'd probably look to short it next week. But yeah, congratulations. What a power up on Robinhood. I didn't know this stock was up 50% from the bottom in the last 2 weeks.
It's like SoFi. I mean, SoFi's not going to be up that much, but
Yeah, but SoFi is good.
Is it? I mean, actually, SoFi's 650 bottom, 850 now. SoFi or so.
Okay, but hold on. How many people in the chat? We're not going to put up a poll with 15 minutes left. Who in the chat is actually going? Would you rather own Robinhood or SoFi? I'm pretty sure
Put that in the chat. Why not?
No, but just just type in SoFi if you think SoFi. Type in Hood if you think Hood.
We could do that, yeah.
I think it would be very Hood if you thought Robinhood. Although I still think at some point some bank thinks they're worthwhile to pick up, right? If it were to continue down, somebody's gonna. It's all SoFi. There you go. I saw one Robinhood. There's two. There's three, but it's like 8-1 SoFi. That's very unscientific. That's just me eyeballing it. We do have to get to the desk to take care of some business, courtesy of Frank Caberna.
Brought to you by IG.com. Trade Forex pairs like Euro USD with spreads as low as 0.8 pips and zero commissions at IG. Terms and conditions apply.
So we're long Bitcoin now. Let's go.
GBTC.
Yeah, GBTC. Yeah, exactly. So let's just see if it goes. It might not go right now. See, it's not moving. Like as soon as I get in and the size is here, it's just kind of dancing around as Bitcoin just break. I have like I have the time and sales up for it, just trying to watch out to see. Here it is right here.
You should explain
just
the
trying to watch out what Bitcoin's doing, just trying to follow it. So if it does break too much one way or the other, then we'll get out. It's not that I'm bored right now, but I'm a little bit. So we'll watch a little bit of Bitcoin here to see where we go and whatnot for this name. So we'll wait for it, see if it's going anywhere. Google's coming back in a little bit here. You know what? Honestly, I might just get out of this. I don't. Let's see if it goes anywhere. I just punched out at 30 on GBTC. I'll call that up in a second. We just got, it's now it's heading to the low, now it's heading lower on GBTC. Here it is right here, back and forth. I don't know, there's some 30s. Well, went down into 28 now, but.
Where's the book? I can't see it.
What book?
OTC.
It's not here, that's the problem. It's OTCN right here. See, there it is right now. So now the spread, see?
Okay, there it is.
This is why, like, when you break through levels, see now it's printing 32s. Like I was long 31s, I got out 30 there. Like that's going to be a 1 penny hit on that.
Cut off on this screen.
But see, it's not. There it is, OTCN. So the spread is there's really not much going on right now. So we'll wait. Hopefully it can continue to go up to the upside. I'd want to see something happening in this before anything. All right, so. Just a quick scalp on that. The problem with the reason why I went long GBTC is I thought there was a chance. Here, I'll call it back up again.
Well, when it breaks, it can trend really strongly, right?
Well, yeah, it's already. I mean, it was more because of the weekend. Like the weekend, you're not going to be able to trade this thing over the weekend, and then if it goes to the upside, then these prices are going to look silly. It's going to be at $37, $38. Because the closing on this stops closing in 13, stops trading in 13 minutes on the market close. So if Bitcoin somehow moons right now, people are going to have to buy this immediately because that's what happens. That's how it works. The more money inflows into this, which is why it's so important. See, now it's going to probably go, Bitcoin's still not doing anything. The more money that floats into GBTC or some of these ETFs means they're going to have to go in there and start buying more coins to offset the position. So as it goes, this could, like if we get to 45,000, this is going to get bought up like crazy during.
You're going to talk about this in the pod, right?
Yeah, I don't know if we'll talk about GBTC specifically, but we will.
Well, the dynamics of the ETF.
Oh yeah.
Because I actually, again, I've said this before, when I get a haircut, my barber is into crypto, but he does not really a trader, but we talked about it and I was like, oh, you know what? We do a podcast because he knows about the show and we just started the podcast. I told him about it when we started it.
Okay, good.
But I did say there's like 99% chance that one of the big topics is going to be
there's going to be way better podcasts to listen to for crypto. Like, let's be honest.
I'm telling him ours.
Oh no, that's good. Yeah, you should listen to ours. I'll be there.
Because I'm like, look, I've been going, if I've been going and getting my haircut, which is, look how complicated it is to cut Neil's hair. Speaking myself,
very complicated.
It's very complicated, but I'm very loyal to my barber, who is absolutely he's a great dude. So it's just, even the conversation is just always fun. Jamaican guy, I love it. But again, it's just about like getting that education, and he's done pretty well. But I think it's everybody tune in. It's not being. The difference is, of course, we'll say it again. It's not taped live. Well, it's taped live, but you guys aren't gonna. We don't stream it live as it's being taped, but you check it out pretty much anywhere you can get a podcast tomorrow morning at 9:30. You'll be able to see it on Apple, Spotify, all those good places. I tend to listen on Spotify because that's just
We're
how
back
I roll.
into GBTC.
So I only one trade to report on because Nicola's not doing anything. Rivian got to VWAP and is bouncing, so I took half out into VWAP, and now it's bouncing 5 cents higher. So it went from 11s to 02s. It's back at 6s. I probably get this all out in front of 19 even. If the move is 19.11 with a 15 top to 19 even, then it is what it is. But imbalances are coming in 15 seconds. So this is where look to get out of some positions here.
We're doing really well, guys. So we got back into GBTC right here at we're actually long at 32. No, sorry, 38. My bad. Right there, 38, taking out the high. I was just like, you know what? I'm literally talking myself into doing this. So if I don't do it, be crazy. There it is. Let's see. Here's the Google. It was just down here at 135. It gets a little bit of a pop up now on those imbalances. Let me just take a piece out here. Now let's go over and look at said imbalances. And here we go. Right now, Nikola with a sell. Intel with a buy. Apple, look at Apple with a buy. Nice little move upside there. Most likely Microsoft with a buy. Brendan is giving it to us right now, and we'll see. Wow, 200 million to sell. I don't know if that's going to be accurate or not. Let me just get out of the broker. It's accurate because it's the number that we have, but it just seems like with Apple being a buy of 3 million, I'm surprised that this adds up to a sell. Microsoft, I don't think this is a sell, but might be a sell on the NYSE. Not really a sell right now on the NASDAQ, it doesn't seem like. I mean, Nikola could be 500 million.
Nicola's irrelevant.
Apple
a lot of New York are to sell.
Yeah, so it's probably. That's why I think that number that we get is New York only.
Exactly.
Right? And because we've talked about that over and over again. So.
This happened the other day where it was a bunch of buys on all the big it was Amazon was $1 million, Apple was $1 million, and Microsoft was 900,000.
First of all,
then we didn't see a big bid. Obviously, Nikola just came out as a sell imbalance, which I had no idea it's going to be a 5 million sell imbalance. They did an offering. So bank error in my favor. It goes to 75 to 72.
We just got 46s. I mean, we're going to be happy about this. It's too bad that we took that 1 penny hit on GBTC in the first place. But again, I've traded lots of different things today. Roblox, Google, we're in right now. Here's pink sheet name on GBTC. Alibaba, AMD, Affirm, and Apple. And here we go. So it's working out. If you guys just said, Bitcoin's not moving at all. It is not moving at all. 44.2, this is the same thing that it's been doing for the last 10 minutes. But I feel like the rhetoric is working out in our favor right now as what I was talking about. Nervous hands holding the short of GBTC this weekend. So feel like there could be some buys coming in. It's still not that much volume. So it's not like, oh my God, we nailed this. I mean, it's not like anyone's really sending this thing to the moon. But we'll take it. We'll take a nice 10-cent win here at the end of the day on GBTC. So far, so good. We're 15 cents in the money also on Google. But again, that's not moving. We just wicked down. I'm going to wait. Well, first of all, I have my stop at 20s. It hasn't broken yet, so that's where we're short. The other thing I was going to say is I'm going to actually wait for that flip at 55 because I feel like that will send this back in. We are bidding right now 75, but I feel like we're lucky enough to get 95. Let's put a bid right there. And then we'll just wait to see what happens at 355.
So one of the things about that imbalance, like when the imbalances come out, is if you have a stock that gets an imbalance and if you have any entry with a tight stop, it doesn't matter. Like if it's a tight stop, if the imbalance comes your way and it's gigantic, like Nikola, as if you know, if I knew Nikola was going to come out with an 8 million sell imbalance, I would have paid for 5 times the locates I paid for this morning, and I would have gotten short more. But I didn't know that. It just randomly came out at 4.7 million. It just jumped to 8 and came right back, but it's dancing around here. So you don't know that it's going to come out of sell, but I'm short 74.5 with a 75.2 stop when it happens. So it's like bank error in your favor. If it comes out of buy imbalance, I lose less than 1 cent because I already have a stop. It comes out of sell imbalance, you get the move you're looking for. So it's a bit binary, but sometimes you can find setups like that. What was the one the other day? Amazon.
Yep.
Where like Amazon's at a resistance spot. If it comes out sell and bounce, it'll spike the top. It might spike the top. It's at resistance anyways. You can risk, whatever to the even dollar, and then if it's a sell and bounce, it flushes like a buck or two. So that's a setup that generally we like, and you're putting that fade on, and it happens really quickly. Because 55 hits, 50 hits, if there's an imbalance, great, it moves right away. You get the spike, you know whether you win right away. You have a tight stop in there. That's why we'll look at them. Some days there's absolutely nothing, and other days there can be a little something for you. Next week is a different story. Like let's put it this way: no matter what I see in Uber, there's nothing that would make me short it. I'm not saying I would go long when Uber's being added, but I can promise you this: nothing I see will make me short that stock. I don't care what it looks like for a setup. I'm not shorting that one into the close. It could come out the wrong way with a gigantic sell and bounce. I ain't shorting that crap because it's way too good. I think it's a good stock that people want to be in, and you got to respect it. So last thing here with 5 minutes to go, I'm probably just going to get on the bid here on Rivian, take 6 5s and 6s because this isn't really moving all that much, but it was better to look for something weak that would give you some kind of a chance than fight old buddy Affirm at that 42 level. It's still above 42. Shout out to Affirm for being as strong as it is. Good move. If it gets to 50, and 50 looks like a good short. And if you bet that there'd be pretzels left by the end of the day, you actually would have won.
Yeah, there's some left here.
I'd have lost that bet.
And if you bet that Sean would win on GBTC, you also get some right there. We just got out at 46. Honestly, man, like I thought this could potentially move. Now we're trying to pin some 47s. We only have 4 minutes left, and liquidity can get sparse on this. So we'll be out of that one. Well, we are out of it. Sorry, not we will be out of it. I'm just making sure we don't have any other orders pending, and we do not. Google did exactly what we thought it would. We just not bidding the right price. We bid 95s, giving us 25 cents. It did go all the way down to 89 right there, $90 on that flush. We are short at 20. Because we got to get out of here, I'm going to go flip over and get ready for the podcast. Show you the money, Fonzie. There it is. That's for you, Ponzi, as you get going. So there it is right now. Hopefully you guys had a good week. I think we went, I'll have to double check, but I think we went perfect this week. I don't think we have a negative day. So that's going to be really good. And yeah, we're going to have a great weekend. So I just hope everyone also has a great weekend. We're gonna, yes, a great 2 days. You are right, Ponzi. Congratulations to you for that one as well. And of course, we'll be green today. We just said we were. I think it's been a green December, to be honest with you. And so far, so good. I think we had, I keep saying we, but it was 5 or 6 red days in November, but still positive month in November for me. And now we're going to start off December rocking again. So thanks for watching. I'm going to get out pretty much immediately. There it is. I thought we just bid some. Oh, no, we bid 98s instead. We got to bid 99s. Let's just bid out of 99 and get out of this one for Google, and then we will work it out after that. There it is. We are now out on Google. So far, so good there. I hope everyone enjoyed those last couple trades. Thank you for watching. And big shout out to Patrick, obviously, and as he did all of us proud there on his very first day today. So most likely more to come from that guy. I just need to, I feel like he was comfortable. We'll see. I mean, I'm not going to put anybody back on if they're not excited about it. So, all right. Thank you so much. And I'll see you guys soon. Take them home.
Yes, sir. Well, only 2.5 minutes to go, so get on up there. And there was a couple of questions about this. On Fridays, when we do the podcast, there is no market recap because we're doing the podcast. So, Sean will be doing the podcast. You can 100%, you can catch it tomorrow morning. I expect everyone to. If you want to listen to the old ones, they're going to be up there on Spotify, on Apple, wherever you want to consume it. The last thing for me was I actually got out an extra lot here in Nikola. And then I already had a bid for the shares I had left in front of 72, but I took this one fill there and left that bid the same, so I accidentally got long and punched out right away. Nikola continues to fall. When we talk about trading stocks at key levels, it's because it matters. This is a key level. Look at it barcode, look at it fail. Look at it barcode, look at it fail. Now the other key level, which I didn't actually trade, would have been 72. So 72, look at it barcode, look at it fail. What happened when it even bounced off that level? The only pullback was at 72. So my trail goes there for the last of those shares. My target out when I'm shorting 75 was back into that key level at 72. That's the thing about the thing about key levels. It's not just about getting in at them, but it's about trying to hold through them. Like if I look at with 1 minute to go, and I'm going to answer the question. It's not going to be rhetorical or anything. Like, where is the spot? It is rhetorical, actually, I think about it. Where is the spot that I made the biggest mistake today on Nikola? Right here. That is the single dumbest exit that you could possibly make. There's no point. Why am I even like, oh, it bounced off 74 and I'm short 75, get some out? Why? I got out 10% for zero reason. You should not be getting out just as your trade is starting to work. Oftentimes, that is the best place to look for an opportunity to add. If it's a big level, this is where it's starting to work. I can look for an add there. And when it falls, I don't mind that out. I didn't need to take 2 outs there. You got to let it work for you to the downside. Do not panic out as your stock works. We got 30 seconds to go. It's been a fun day. No questions asked. This market's gonna close up. It's not going to be a barn burner. We're only 0.4 up on the NASDAQ here in the ES, 0.4. I think the bigger rally for most people is going to be what's going on in Bitcoin and what's going on in some of those squeeze names. So great rally for Bitcoin and all crypto, realistically. I mean, it's been fantastic. I'm going to be glued to my phone to see if we get Shohei Ohtani. Please let us get Shohei. But let's go on over in 4, 3, 2, and there's Sean in 1. There it is. And in absolutely no way am I going to start stretching this out for you guys. But look, it's been a fun week. Shout out down the line. Fabian Ramin doing a fantastic job. You don't see him, but Mark was back here, working on some things for us. We have a fantastic team. Randy, I think Randy's on vacation, but shout out to those guys. We can't do it without them. So that's what it's all about. I mean, it's a deeper team than just who you see on air. Speaking of which, shout out to Adara as always and Sharif for the education that we're getting. I think the segment's getting better and better. Shout out to Patrick. I mean, everybody said he did a fantastic job because it's true. Right? He's got a great personality. Here's the thing. I'll tell you this right now. This is obvious if you were watching this. Patrick, hands down, this is exactly the same dude that you saw as who he is on the floor. Completely authentic. So he's a great dude. I know you enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll see a heck of a lot more of him. Brennan, as always, fantastic. We had our guest in the afternoon. Great interview. And this morning, of course, with Michael Noss. But the week is over. The Jays are getting Ohtani. I'll be drinking the good stuff when it happens. Mr. Kateen is going to Wonderland tonight. I'm going on Sunday. We're all going to be celebrating a good week and the Toronto Blue Jays in the World Series in 2024 with Shohei Ohtani batting cleanup for us. So for Trader TV Live and all of us, make sure you check out that podcast tomorrow morning, wherever you happen to pick it up there, Spotify, Apple, whatever it is. And we will see you back next week. This is Trader TV Live. See you on Monday.